Hi, I'm James Shillinglaw. I'm here still in Northumberland, England, and we're finding all these wonderful things. And we're here at Adgelfront. What is that? We're going to find out. It's a combination of a lot of things. I'm here with Dr. Chris Ferguson, who oversees this wonderful combination distillery and museum. And we're going to find out about that and more on Insider Travel Report. Chris, first of all, this is an amazing place, and it's only been around since when?
We opened 20th of March 2023.
Wow.
So we're still less than 2 years old at this point, but we've been in the making for hundreds of years, really, with the stories that we tell.
Now, what gave you the idea for this place?
Well, partly we're a family business. So my parents, we were sat around thinking what we're going to do with the site, and someone had been looking at making a whiskey distillery. So we are the only single malt distillery in the northeast of England. Mm-hmm. But what we do with that, and we celebrate the barley and the produce of the area, is we also celebrate the story of the Anglo-Saxon palace of Ardgeffen, which is about 2 miles north of here.
And that was a palace of Anglo-Saxon kings, and we're talking, well, even before the Vikings, right?
Yeah, we're talking 1400 years ago, around 500, 600 AD. Part of the story that is what I studied. It was my period of passion as an archaeologist, and it is a hugely important site that a lot of people in the UK, let alone abroad, did not know the story of. So even though it was rediscovered in the 1950s and 1960s, it didn't have a dedicated story, dedicated place to tell it to people.
No, absolutely. And so these are the Anglo-Saxon kings. And so you had the Scots still up in the north, and you had the Anglo-Saxon kings here and all the way down through the rest of England at that point. This is long before the Normans ever got here, right?
Long before Normans, long before the Vikings, before there was even an idea of Scotland as a place or England. These were the Anglo-Saxon kings and queens of Northumbria. At their height, ruled a kingdom that stretched from modern Fife, north of Edinburgh, right the way down south of York, which was their other capital, the River Humber and beyond. So it was what we think of as all of northern England and southern Scotland.
Well, it's impressive. It's a wonderful area. And, of course, you have an incredible museum on the second floor of this facility. You got a beautiful staircase that goes up to it, which is, I think the entrance is one of the most impressive things I've seen. And then you get upstairs and you actually have interactive, you have displays, you have all kinds of things. And what are you kind of teaching people about there at that point?
It is really an exploration of what the golden age of Northumbria was. So this is a period that leads up to great artworks like the Lindisfarne Gospels, which a lot of people around the world know. This is the story of the people who lived there, the story of what would have been around here 1400 years ago. It's the site of the first Christian conversions. It's a place of great debate, a great gathering, and it's a place really run by the women, and the story of the queens and the story of powerful women in making that whole space work.
No, it's a lovely, lovely display, and you can walk around there for a while. And then you can come downstairs, and there's a wonderful restaurant. You have a great restaurant. We had a lovely meal there today. And then, of course, you have your whiskey and other liqueurs that you do. Tell us a little bit about that, because you've only been doing this since 2023, and so you're not ready to do single malts yet, right?
We've been laying single malt down ever since just before we opened, in fact. And the whole idea is that we celebrate Northumbrian barley. So the things that made this a place for the kings and the queens and the kingdom to be is the agriculture. Massively rich, great for growing barley. All our barley comes from within 20 miles of the distillery, and we make our own single malt. It's laying down in cask. It's maturing now. It's almost ready.
It's like the end of this year, right? It's going to be...
Yeah, we're going into 2026, and it's there. And the idea is it's a regeneration project for the local area. So those single malt products or spirit products, which we think are marvellous, help support the cultural stuff and education and stuff like that. So in the future, you buy a bottle of our whiskey, part of that goes into an educational fund, part of it supports us doing more cultural work. more museum.
Well, we do have, you can see the whiskey bottles behind us. This is the whiskey, but you also do other, I think you do a few other kinds of liquor, right?
Yeah, we do. We have our own gin, which celebrates the story of the Cheviot Hills just behind us, down to the coast. And we do a whiskey cream liqueur using our Tackenborough blend, which has been incredibly popular. And all of the single malt, all of the things here that we make, we have a borehole that uses water from the Cheviots itself, the hills just behind us. So it's really kind of about as local a product as you can get.
Yeah, and so we had a chance to do all the tastings, and it was marvelous. Actually, I liked that Irish what is it? Irish, what is it? Whiskey and whatever?
The whiskey, so our blended whiskey, the Tackenborough that's behind us, and we celebrate all of the people that came to the Great Hall, came to Ardgeirfran, came from around Northern Europe. So this is a place of gathering. Okay. So they came from Scandinavia, from Ireland, from modern Scotland, from North Africa, from Italy. So our blend celebrates where those people came from. So we have a Tackenborough that you tasted, a Corringist, which celebrate Irish, Scottish, English, Scandinavian whiskies into those blends. And then that's what we use to make the whiskey cream liqueur as well.
And then you also, that gin is actually marvelous. I haven't tasted one that has that many flavors in it. They asked, do I want any kind of, mixer in it? And I said, I think it's okay as it is.
That's what we kind of wanted. We wanted just a good, straightforward, honest gin. So it's Northumbrian botanicals in there, but it's something that's great just for a neat, for a gin and tonic, for a Negroni, straightforward gin. No liqueurs, just a gin.
Somebody offered us gin and tonic, like a tonic, and I said, no, this has got so many flavors in it already that I really didn't need it. And I like the whiskey too. I mean, it's not single malt yet, but it's going to be. And you've done a marvelous job. And then plus you do it all here, right?
We do it all here, and the whole thing is about provenance and quality, and we want to make something that the region is really proud of. So if you're visiting us, you're coming here, this is Northumbrianness in a bottle, in a glass, in a place when you come and visit us.
Now, we go out to about 128,000 travel advisors in the United States. What would you tell them about how they can set up a visit here for their clients, whether that's a group of clients or maybe just a couple or a family?
So you can get directly in touch with us. We can do bookings online, bookings in advance. We have museum tickets on its own. We do distillery tour as well, combined with that. We do evening meals, we do lunches, we do bespoke tastings, we can do group, we can facilitate a lot of direct small groups all the way up to big groups, and it's what we're here for. It is what we mean by Northumbrian hospitality, right. Is we are here to welcome people and make them feel at home as you would welcome somebody to your own dining table. That's
you get
us.
A good sense of the region because of the museum and everything else, and Anglo-Saxon culture way before the Vikings and before the Normans and everything else. And so this is a different kind of England, I guess.
Yeah, it is. It's sort of come and see us. This is what the north of England is about. This is the sort of Northumbrian story, and you want to tread in those footsteps, explore those people. You can start from here and then go out and explore more.
And then if you want to buy something in the shop, you can do it.
Yeah, exactly. And then you can buy a bottle of whiskey to take home with you.
That sounds like a good deal. Now, what's the website for your Ardgeirfran?
We are Ardgeirfran, that's ADGEFRIN.co.uk.
Fantastic. Well, Chris, I want to thank you. We had a marvelous tasting, marvelous visit to the museum, and a really marvelous lunch. So we were here on the fast track here because we're with our Visit Britain group. We've been racing around all of the Northumbria and Newcastle and the rest of the area, but this is actually the last attraction.
I think you are. I think we are. So it's been a real pleasure to have you all here. Really nice to meet you.
Well, great to meet you too, Chris. And if you want to come visit Chris and see all this thing, please take a look. And I'm ready to come back because we really only get the taste of it.
Yeah, you've got a small sample. You need to come in and have the whole experience.
I'm James Shillinglaw, and this is Insider Travel Report.